everybody? It's Ace back to you guys with another deck profile video for Master Duel. I've been playing this deck for a little bit as I picked it up from the packs of like the Amazon Warrior pack, and it's War Rocks I'm doing today, as you can see from a deck list right now. This deck, just a little overview about it. It kind of floats sometimes when it gets to the story by opponent effects, and their basis thing it does is it's more of like a high attack monsters and influence over the battle phase, I would say. So if that's up your alley and you want to have some cards that look cool, the artwork is amazing in this deck, and also be able to influence the battle phase into their favor, not all the time, but have stuff like that. Another thing I like to note is their effects themselves, they aren't really that good, I ain't gonna lie to you. They can make some extendo plays into the battle phase, but besides that, the big ones don't have a floating effect and the smaller ones do, so that kind of sucks. And in order to activate their stuff, they have to be destroyed by opponent's card effects, which kind of sucks. But overall, you can get some high-powered bodies on the field. The artwork is cool. Being warrior types, you can kind of mess around with different types of like warrior support for the deck. The cards themselves actually look pretty cool, and even the effects of some of the cards in the battle phase are actually awesome. So without further ado, let's get into this deck profile video and show you guys what I have so far. I made it to plat with this deck. I had a lot of fun. I took a lot of L's, not gonna lie to you, because it can get out of play. I took a lot of L's, but I took a lot of victories to get there. So let's do this. So first, I played one Duel. I don't have another one, so I just have this one right now. But I was thinking about trying to bump it up to three Ash blossoms, but I don't have enough ultra rare points, as you can see. Got only 10. But Duel is pretty good. I can manage to stop some plays if the play extends on to searching the deck. I sometimes switch them out between a Max C, but sometimes he comes up to more in play because if the opponent needs to add something from their deck to their hand and they can't really extend their plays without it, he's a good hand trap to have. And of course, I run the 2 Ashes. It's always my staples or any deck I run, because just saying no to being able to search, and especially someone from the deck and everything, Ash Blossoms comes to play. I like this card a lot, and I will always try to keep it into like one of my favorite hand traps. On to the War Rock engine, however, we have 3. I'm probably gonna say her name wrong, or his name wrong. War Rock Friota, or Forsha, I think. Forsha, I think I'm gonna say it called Forsha. She basically has the effect of, during the damage step, like doing battling, you can add a War Rock card from your deck to your hand, and she gains 200 attack. Or every War Rock on a monster on a like field gains 200 attack. So it can be a very high boost to your monsters, that 200 attack, as a trigger off other effects. Her floating effect is when she's destroyed by opponent's card effect, she can special summon a level 5 or higher War Rock monster from my deck or hand onto the field. So Forsha, I run at 3 because of her floating effect, and also her being able to search out different type of War Rock cards I might need in situations. I run 3 of Goktos. Goktos could be taken out for something like another extender. I only really want him for an extender, and also having the same floating effect as Forsha. When he's destroyed by the opponent's card effect, search out level 5 or higher warrior monster from my hand or deck. I won 3 Winto. I think I'm saying it right. Winto has the effect that when she attacks, she can have you pay 800 life points, and you basically gain 800 attack points to a monster that's attacking. Comes at really high moments when you need to actually have extra damage to destroy over monsters. I like Forsha a lot. I bump her at 2 and 3 sometimes, depending on how I feel at the time. But right now, I'm keeping her at 3. Just come in handy. I'm not gonna lie, she really comes in handy. I won 3 of the War Rock Orpus. Orpus is really cool, as he sends a War Rock monster from the deck to the graveyard, and also he won't need a tribute summon if you control no monsters, or all monsters you control are Earth Warrior type monsters, which is really cool. I usually get a combo of sending the big dude. I'm gonna get to that in the second one, Marshall is. But he's basically my level 5 slash sending stuff to the graveyard that I can recycle a lot. And also 1 War Rock Mama. You can run another one if you want to. He's basically my popper for spell and trap cards that I need into the game, as his deck can suffer from that. But overall, he's pretty cool as having a high attack, and he lets all monsters get a 200 attack as well. I believe he lets 200, and then my Orpus gets 200. So 200, 200, and then 200 for Forestry. This is the only one that doesn't have the effect. Either it's just an extender for like another monster on the field if you want to like link summon him away, or even use it as an XC material, like a rank 4 or something. I won 2 Skylar. Some people bump it up to 3, some people bump it up to 1. I tried the 1, but I really came to find out I needed another one into the deck sometimes. But Skylar basically, she gets 100 attack for each monster your opponent controls, and during the battle step, I can, it's a quick effect, so it turns deck too, but I can target one level 5 or lower warrior monster in my graveyard, special summon it, and all Warrock monsters from then on gains 200 attack. That's what you're going to see that a lot. Everyone gains 200 attack or something. But at the end of the opponent's turn, until the end of the opponent's turn, also for the rest of the turn, you cannot attack directly with level 5 or lower monsters. You can only use the effect of Warrock Skylar once per turn. So sometimes you can't really close out games with that because but you can set up another extender in case you have another like level 4 Warrock and you summon another one main phase to it, and then try to like link summon or even exceed summoning into something. So I keep her at 2, and she becomes a strong body on the field, so you can get like 200 attack boosts from every different type of Warrock monster. I run 1 Meteor Garen. Meteor Garen, look at for this artwork. Look at this man. That's all I'm gonna say. Look at this man. He basically becomes my closer to the game. I'm gonna zoom over to his effects. I love Meteor Garen so much, but cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects, and when an attack is declared involving this card and an opponent's monster, I can negate that opponent's monster effect. Comes in handy when opponent's monsters have flip effects / search effects when they're destroyed. Really, really cool. And I can negate that opponent monster effect as well as the activated effects or effects on the field of monsters with the same original name. So multiple copies can be negated too. And then once per turn during the battle phase, in which a warrior monster battles, quick effect can make all warrior monsters I currently control gain 200 attack as well. Until the end phase of your opponent's turn, also this card can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each of the battle phase. So you can basically clear out boards if he's high attack, just like keep poking at some stuff like that. Meteor Garen is cool, man. I like Meteor Garen. For the last Warrock monster, we have Basileos. I say Basileos. It might be a different pronouncement. But basically, during a battle phase, which the warrior monster battles, I can activate this effect. This card can attack directly, and also all Warrock monsters on the field I currently control gain 200 attack until the end of the opponent's turn. And while this card is in your hand or graveyard, when a warrior monster is destroyed by battle, so if an opponent gets over them by battle, instead of destroying them by card effect, I can special summon this card from my hand or graveyard, I should say, but banish it when it leaves the field. Also, I can only use the effect of Basileos once per turn. It's a really cool floater, and sending him to the graveyard will let me actually let him come back to the field. I usually, as just a combo guide, I usually send him off with Orpus. This is the case when my Orpus gets destroyed by battle and that card effect, and then, or even the floaty ones get destroyed by battle or card effect, where he can just come back. That's it for the Warrock monsters, though. When it comes to just trying to maintain some Warrock stuff, I have 1 Raigeki, I have 1 Heartbeat Feather Duster, 1 Monster Reborn, 1 Rhoda, because all we run is warriors, 2 Pot of Extravagance, because this deck doesn't usually focus on the extra deck much, because they don't have an extra deck monster. It's usually just whatever monsters you feel like you can throw into the deck. But definitely Pot of Extravagance. I will run a 3rd one if you do have one, as drawing stuff with this deck really helps out when it plays and trying to figure some stuff out. I want 1 with Lightning Storm. I would have run another one if I had it, but I don't. I run 2 Magnum. I might bump this with 3 to be honest, because man, Magnum Shield. Basically, this effect is if an attack position, it gains the attack equal to the original defense, like it was a warrior monster. And in defense position, the warrior monster regains the attack and put it onto its defense. So to be honest, like a little small bite like this goes up to 3,600. You know, their attack goes up so high that opponents will have to trigger their floaty effects because they have to destroy my card effect. They can destroy my battle. They can still destroy my battle, but it takes a little bit of like summoning and trying to get effects off and trying to actually come up with a way to stop them before you want to send them off for their floaty effects. So I run definitely 2 Magnum Shield. I'll run another one, maybe. if I can figure out what other like equip cards work for Warlocks. I was even thinking about including some normal night cards, but I was like, that might actually hinder some stuff. But for now, I run two. I run the Warlock Field Spell, which is the go-to of this deck because the Field Spell is so good and look at the artwork, like a wolf coming out. Basically, when it's played, I can activate the effect of searching the Warlock monster from my deck to my hand, and at the start of the battle phase, if I control no monsters or all monsters I control are warrior monsters, I can special summon one Warlock monster from my hand with a different name than the cards I control. If your warrior monster would be destroyed by battle, I can send this card to the graveyard instead, so I can actually help them out, like saving their effects and do some stuff with. I run three of them as a must. You can get away with 2 or 3 of them as a must in the deck if you want that searcher and this protection and even popping off effects. I won one Warlock Ordeal. A lot of people don't even add this in their deck, but seeing as which, if my Warlock destroys a monster and I can draw an extra card, I don't mind it. I like this. I like to have that extra draw power into the deck. I won 2 Dignity. If I had 3, I would. Dignity is an awesome card. But basically, it basically is a negate card, basically saying that it can negate monster effects that activate. Also, during the battle phase, if my opponent were to activate a spell and trap card or monster effect, can negate that effect too. So definitely 2 of them if you have them, 3 of them if you do have them as well. I would have 1 Mirror Force instead of 1 Mirror Force. And storing Mirror Force as I don't want to have my opponent trigger too many graveyard effects into this deck because this deck suffers from like having too much stuff pop off. So definitely just you can run any kind of Mirror Force engine will help out so much with this. I won 1 Infinite Impermanence. If I had the money, if I had the ultra rare gems, I would have another one. I just don't have one, but I was so lucky that I got to actually craft one. It doesn't come up as much as I thought I would, man. To be honest, I mostly have to deal with spell and trap cards sometimes and just trying to flood out the field. But definitely the one of Impermanence, or 3 of them if you have them. I won 3 of the Warlock Generations. Warlock Generations is basically during a battle phase if my opponent controls more monsters than I do, I special summon the Warlock monster from my deck. And if you activate this card during your opponent's turn for the rest of the turn, while you control the face-up special summon monster, your opponent has to attack that monster. And I usually try to use that for the big bodies or Skylar or Mama just to pop off their effects of trying to get themselves out, and more attack for a Warlock monster if I have another one that my opponent's trying to take over. But basically one of them. I want one Warlock Big Blow because this card, I hate the text of saying that during the main phase, if a Warlock monster control leaves the field by opponent's card effect, which I can trigger off from these, my floaty ones, I can destroy 2 cards my opponent controls. There's a trap card that I put in here, but I took out by accident, and now I forgot what it was. But basically, it was my replacement for this card in case I couldn't use it. But I use Warlock Big Blow sometimes. It's not as terrible as card people say, but not as good either. And for my negates, I just have my 2 Solemn Judgments. That's pretty much it. No, not 2 Solemn Judgments. My 2 Solemn cards. Just to say no when I have to. When it comes to an extra deck, you can throw anything in here. So right now I'm just running like the 2 Synchros that I have. I run Utopia just to have one and stop them in the game, or even if it gets to banish, doesn't really matter because I use it. I won one of the Kochi Dragon just because I have an extra deck monster from Pot of Desires, or Pot of Extravagance. I actually do use this Heartland Dragon. I actually use this for Zeus because its effect is I can detach a material and attack my opponent directly if I have a face-up spell card on the field, which is usually my field spell. He comes in clutch a lot of times though. For my other one, I run Tornado Dragon just to get rid of spell and trap cards if I had to. I run Bazooka the Terribly Tired Tamper? Yeah, Terrible Tamper. It's kind of much as my defensive game if I have to use this card to like hold out for a little bit. That's my opponent can activate. When they can activate their effects, I believe. Oh, this card is to check out. Also negate. Oh, yeah, I negate the activated effects of my opponent's cards if it's in the defensive position. He also a lot. You know, I wouldn't want to do so if I can actually pop him off. I pop him off. I don't. Doesn't really hurt me too much. I run 1 Generator Traverse, which is a normal Link monster that switches positions of the Link monster she points to. Actually came in clutch a couple times. I don't know if I had that clip saved or something, but she comes in clutch, believe it or not. And this was just my regular, like, if I summon it like this one Gaia, and then Sword, Raster Liger, and then Unchained Abomination, because I do get to use this card. But overall, this is the Warrock deck. And so far, I'm loving it so far. But I make changes going over to more higher ranks. And oh yeah, if I manage to get more like ultra rare cards, I'm definitely changing some stuff up into the game. But for now, if you wanted to test this deck out, as I got this deck profile from I forgot what video I found it from, but he was killing it with it, and I wanted to try it out myself, and I'm loving the Warrocks. I'm loving Warrocks so far. Stay tuned for the end of this video as you get to see my kind of like my test duel running this deck, and seeing if you want to pick it up yourself. But until then, guys, be looking out for my next Master Duel content. Probably another deck profile. I don't know what deck I'm running next after this. I was just trying to move up and then trying to just trying to make stuff. Loving the game so far though. That's it for me though. This Ace signing out.